Welcome to our immigration briefing program. Today, we delve into the dramatic twists and turns of the French legislative elections, where the far-right National Rally Party, led by Marine Le Pen, faced a significant setback despite achieving a historic number of seats. We'll explore how political alliances played a crucial role in this outcome and what it means for France's political landscape moving forward. Next, we'll shift our focus to the UK, where a new initiative aims to tackle people smuggling across Europe. Hundreds of British police officers will be deployed as part of the UK Border Security Command, marking a significant move in the fight against illegal immigration. Lastly, we'll discuss the latest developments in the Conservative Party's leadership race. Suella Braverman's campaign has been dealt a blow as a key ally has switched allegiance to Robert Jenrick, adding more intrigue to the ongoing contest. Please stay tuned for the detailed coverage of these stories. Bloomberg. Jordan Bardella, the president of Marine Le Pen's National Rally, has attributed his party's third-place finish in the French legislative elections to the strategic alliances formed by their political rivals. Despite winning the largest share in the first round of voting on June 30, the National Rally was thwarted by a coalition of left-wing and other rival parties who united to prevent a far-right takeover. Bardella criticized these alliances as orchestrated from the Élysée Palace by an isolated president and an incendiary left. Although the National Rally did not achieve an absolute majority, it is poised to secure the highest number of seats it has ever won, with early projections estimating between 113 and 152 seats. Marine Le Pen has been working to mainstream her party by distancing it from her controversial father, Jean-Marie Le Pen, and softening stances on social issues while maintaining a tough stance on immigration and national preference policies. New York Times. France is facing a hung parliament and significant political uncertainty after snap legislative elections resulted in no clear majority for any of the three main political factions, left, center, and right. Contrary to predictions, the left-wing New Popular Front emerged with the most seats, followed by President Emmanuel Macron's centrist Renaissance Party, and Marine Le Pen's National Rally. The elections saw a remarkable level of cooperation among centrists and the left to form a Republican front against the National Rally, with many candidates dropping out of three-way races to unify against Le Pen's party. Jean-Luc Mélenchon, the far-left leader of the New Popular Front, has called for the president to invite his alliance to govern. However, the fragmented parliament raises concerns about the country's governability, especially with the Paris Olympics on the horizon. Macron's party has suffered a significant loss, cutting its seats by about a third, and the National Rally has added dozens of seats, further complicating the political landscape. Bloomberg. French voters are heading to the polls in what could be a historic election, with Marine Le Pen's National Rally projected to win the most seats in the lower house of parliament. This would mark the first time a far-right party has served in government since World War II. The main question is whether the National Rally will secure an absolute majority, which would enable its president, Jordan Bardella, to become prime minister and push through significant legislative changes. President Emmanuel Macron called the snap election to bolster his centrist alliance, but this move has seemingly backfired, with his coalition now expected to win far fewer seats. The National Rally has moderated some of its more controversial proposals but remains focused on reducing immigration and stepping back from EU commitments. Turnout will be a crucial factor, with early figures providing insights into whether centrist voters will rally to block the far right. The election has already impacted France's financial markets, with the CAC 40 index underperforming and bond market risk indicators rising. The three leading groups propose vastly different paths for France, from Macron's pro-business reforms to the National Rally's tough stance on immigration and the New Popular Front's radical economic changes. Telegraph. British police will be deployed across Europe to combat people smugglers, as part of Sir Keir Starmer's new UK Border Security Command. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper announced the first steps in establishing the command, which will involve recruiting up to 1,000 additional officers from the National Crime Agency, NCA, Border Force, and MI5. These officers will work with Europol and European police to disrupt smuggling gangs. The initiative will be funded by savings from scrapping Rishi Sunak's Rwanda scheme, expected to save £75 million in the first year. The officers will be stationed in key transit and border countries such as France, Belgium, Turkey, and Greece, as well as regions like Kurdistan. The new command aims to break the business model of smuggling gangs and will be led by a former police, military, or intelligence chief. The command will be modeled on the Office for Security and Counterterrorism and will include enhanced stop and search powers, the ability to seize mobile phones, and apply for financial information on suspects. An investigation into the latest smuggling routes and tactics has also been commissioned to ensure officers are effectively targeted. Telegraph. In the aftermath of a significant electoral defeat, a Conservative candidate from West Suffolk reflects on the party's need to return to its core principles rather than veering left or right. Voters expressed dissatisfaction with various issues, from Boris Johnson's and Liz Truss's leadership to the handling of the NHS and Channel crossings. The party, while recognizing its achievements, must also acknowledge its errors and provide serious leadership. The author warns against being too absorbed in internal debates, emphasizing the need to scrutinize Labour's policies, which are seen as left-wing and technocratic. The Conservative Party must address both cultural and economic issues, rejecting identity politics and focusing on immigration, integration, and extremism. The party needs to reform public services, lower welfare bills, and create a new economic model with more investment and manufacturing. The path to recovery involves applying conservative principles to modern problems with honesty and determination, requiring a robust stance on cultural issues and radical economic reforms. Telegraph. Suella Braverman's potential conservative leadership campaign has been undermined by the loss of a key ally to Robert Jenrick, another likely candidate. Danny Kruger, who previously organized Braverman's campaign, is now supporting Jenrick, who has taken a tough stance on immigration. Both Braverman and Jenrick have advocated for blocking appeals against Rwanda deportations on human rights grounds and proposed a cap on net migration. However, Braverman has faced criticism for her public attacks on campaign blunders and her suggestion of an alliance with Nigel Farage. Other potential candidates include Kemi Badenoch, Priti Patel, and Tom Tugendhat. Braverman emphasized the need for the party to be honest about its problems, while Jenrick highlighted migration as a key issue in the loss of trust in the Conservatives. Victoria Atkins, another potential candidate, pitched herself as a unity figure, stressing the importance of a unified party and the public's conservative instincts. The party is grappling with finding the right diagnosis and solutions to regain public trust and navigate its current challenges. Telegraph. Keir Starmer recently hired a former speechwriter to the Archbishop of Canterbury, which is evident in his humble and sermon-like speech upon entering No. 10. Despite a massive majority, Labour recognizes its limitations, having won only a third of the public on a small turnout and facing internal rebellions. The party is debating its strategy for the next election, with figures like Angela Rayner advocating for practical fixes while others emphasize the need for an emotional connection between economic improvements and daily life. Morgan McSweeney, Labour's director of campaigns, argues that Starmer's personal leadership is crucial, though his charisma remains questionable. McSweeney's background in local government and opposition to both Corbyn and Blairism shapes Labour's current class-conscious approach. Labour aims to balance progressive rhetoric with pragmatic governance, but faces challenges from a diverse parliamentary majority and the need to make tough political choices. Telegraph. Toni Kroos, the German and Real Madrid star, believes Germany's influx of migrants was too uncontrolled and has significantly changed the country over the past decade. In an interview, he compared Germany to Spain, noting a loss of control in his homeland. While he supports the welcoming of migrants, he criticizes the lack of management and the underestimated impact of mass immigration. Germany has been divided on this issue since Angela Merkel's 2015 decision to allow 1 million refugees into the country, leading to the rise of the far-right Alternative for Germany, AfD. Kroos's comments reflect broader concerns about safety and societal changes, as he expressed worries about his daughter's safety in Germany compared to Spain. His views highlight the ongoing debate and polarization surrounding immigration in Germany. Telegraph. Labour's recent victory, while significant, lacks the ambition and detail of Tony Blair's 1997 landslide. Sir Keir Starmer's government faces the challenge of fulfilling promises with a lower share of the vote than Jeremy Corbyn achieved in 2017. Labour's policy agenda has been criticised for its lack of substance, relying on anti-Tory sentiment rather than a clear vision. The party must now navigate economic challenges, with Starmer advocating for economic growth as a solution. However, Labour's commitment to fiscal discipline limits its ability to implement transformative policies. The party's strategy of promising minimal change may have won the election, but it now faces the difficult task of delivering growth and stability. Labour's approach to Europe and taxation will be critical in determining its success, as the new government grapples with the legacy of broken promises and economic instability left by the Tories. The Sydney Morning Herald. Tailgating has become an endemic issue across Australia, with drivers increasingly resorting to intimidation on the roads. In regional coastal towns, residents like Jonathan Hill experience tailgating daily and have resorted to dangerous tactics to deter aggressive drivers. The NSW police are criticized for their lack of focus on this pressing issue, with calls for stricter enforcement and penalties. On highways, drivers face the added threat of tailgating by large semi-trailers and the notorious 3 p.m. Trot-Iuta rush. Jennifer Kruger from Queensland has installed rear and dash cameras to gather evidence against tailgaters. The aggressive driving culture is seen as a symptom of a broader societal breakdown, with people disregarding basic rules and common courtesy. Telegraph: the recent British election reveals a nation increasingly mirroring continental Europe, particularly France, in its political dynamics. Despite the seamless power transition from the moderate right to the moderate left, underlying trends suggest a deeper alignment with the radical right's rise seen across Europe. The economic recession of 2008, a catalyst for Brexit, has left many feeling disenfranchised, particularly in former mining areas and decaying seaside towns. Reform UK, under Nigel Farage, has capitalised on this sentiment, drawing support from those who feel neglected by the political system. The radical right's appeal, rooted in nationalism and identity politics, contrasts with the moderate left, which now primarily represents public sector trade unionists and graduates. This shift underscores a broader nationalist moment, reminiscent of the 1930s, challenging the traditional left-right political spectrum. New York Times: Nigel Farage, the anti-immigrant icon and ally of Donald Trump, remains a disruptive force in British politics. His small insurgent party, Reform UK, has gained significant traction, especially after the Conservative Party's historic defeat to Labour. Farage's presence and rhetoric are poised to shape the future of Britain's political right and the country's overall direction. During a recent media conference, Farage's confrontational style was on full display as he heckled back at protesters. His influence, characterized by his harsh stance on immigration, presents a critical challenge to the Conservative Party, which is currently in disarray following their electoral collapse. South China Morning Post: as Hong Kong's universities increasingly prioritize research over teaching, the value of a university degree has come into question. Graduates often find themselves in low-paid jobs, with little chance for upward mobility. The city now boasts over 20 tertiary institutions, leading to an oversupply of graduates. Teachers who prefer teaching over research are marginalized, contributing to a decline in educational quality. This situation has led to a disillusioned youth, who find limited prospects unless they are in high-demand fields like medicine. The focus on climbing global rankings often means research is tailored to impress ranking companies rather than benefit society. Hence, acquiring technical skills might be a more pragmatic approach for young people than chasing potentially devalued degrees. Yahoo US: Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s claim that Border Patrol agents pay for migrants' flights and get reimbursed by FEMA was debunked. During a parallel event to a presidential debate, Kennedy stated that migrants are flown to any destination they choose at the expense of Border Patrol, which is allegedly reimbursed by FEMA. However, federal data and statements from various immigration experts and agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security and U.S. Customs and Border Protection, confirm that migrants must pay for their own travel. Nonprofits may assist with transportation costs, but there is no evidence that Border Patrol or FEMA funds these expenses. The federal government does arrange flights for specific cases, such as deportations or unaccompanied minors, but not for general migrant travel. Telegraph: following a crushing election defeat, ousted Tory MPs have criticized Rishi Sunak and the Conservative Campaign Headquarters, CCHQ, for a poorly managed campaign. Complaints include delayed leaflet distributions and inadequate digital support, leading to a sense of being outgunned by Labour's more robust mail-shot strategy. Sunak's decision to call an early election in July, rather than waiting for potential interest rate cuts or progress on immigration issues, has also been widely criticized. The chaotic selection process for candidates, including last-minute decisions and undemocratic practices, added to the disarray. While some MPs acknowledge Sunak inherited significant challenges from Boris Johnson and Liz Truss, the overall sentiment is that the campaign was disastrously managed, leaving the party in disarray. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.